On Apple Valley News Now, snow in the mountains with bitterly cold nighttime temperatures in eastern Washington.
That's right, the mercury plunges after the sun goes down. I'm tracking the latest developments in your First Alert forecast.
This is Apple Valley News Now at 5 on your side.
We continue to track that dramatic change in weather conditions all across Washington. Check out the snowfall on Cayuse Pass. This is State Route 123, approximately 40 miles southeast of Enumclaw. That as the forecast is calling for more bone-chilling temperatures. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Alyssa Warner. We're going to get right to Stacy Lee, who's been tracking all of the recent developments in your First Alert forecast.
Quite a bit of snow for October, and our Skywatch radar, we were tracking some snow as far south as Connell earlier this morning. Right now, tracking some snow here in the Blue Mountains. Think Ski Bluewood and Tollgate. They're seeing some snow this afternoon. That should start to taper off later on, but there you go, getting those ski resorts ready for the skiers out there. All right, let's take a look at our temperature trend. Again, very, very cold. Look at these temps down into the 30s, barely break into 50 degrees tomorrow. That's what our 24-hour temperatures are looking like. Very chilly tonight as well in the Yakima Valley, and not even making it up to 50 degrees tomorrow there. Let's take a peek at our Legends Casino Skycam. 48 degrees tonight. Winds are light at 5 miles an hour. Humidity pretty high. Now, the Arctic blast is here, and that's bringing our temperatures anywhere 10 to 20 degrees below the normal, and that's the setup for the next little bit. Widespread frost. We're watching for fog and freezing fog in the Kittitas Valley, also the foothills of the Blues near Walla Walla. More chances of snow on and off throughout the weekend, but mostly sunny and cool temperatures. I got a lot to talk about in your First Alert full weather forecast. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacy. Parents and members of the community are expressing concerns about bullying in the West Valley School District. Some of the parents say these are concerns that have been going on for more than a year, and they want the school district to do something. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell tells us this isn't just about a little bullying. These are serious concerns that could have deadly consequences.
At a September 26th school board meeting, several parents came forward saying they had concerns about bullying at West Valley Innovation Center and about how the school district was handling those complaints. One parent says her son received death threats and was repeatedly told to go kill himself. The school board president listened to their concerns and told the parents at the meeting that they would look into the matter and get back to them at the October 10th meeting. Coming up at 6, we'll have more from parents and caregivers who spoke out at that meeting, as well as how the school board responded. Reporting in West Valley, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
Thanks, Emily. Now to the mass shooting in Maine that left at least 18 people dead and 13 others wounded. The suspected gunman still on the loose tonight. Hundreds of law enforcement officers now involved in the hunt to capture him. ABC's Rena Roy is tracking that.
Officials confirming at least 18 people have been killed and 13 others wounded after a heavily armed gunman opened fire at 2 locations in Lewiston, Maine. Authorities releasing these surveillance images showing the suspect, 40-year-old Robert Card, as he entered a local bowling alley that was hosting a youth night for a kids' bowling league.
Out of nowhere, he just came in and there was a loud pop. Thought it was a balloon. I had my back turned to the door.
Police say Card then allegedly traveled about 4 miles to a bar and restaurant where police allege he shot several more victims. And since then, he's been on the run. Card's white Subaru, pictured here, was found at a boat launch in Lisbon. Officials say he owns a boat as well as a motorcycle.
He should be considered armed and dangerous. We believe this is someone that should not be approached.
Hundreds of federal, state, and local law enforcement agents joining forces to try and track him down. A shelter-in-place advisory is in effect for several communities. Many schools and businesses in the state closed as the manhunt continues.
I do ask the public to continue to be mindful of their own personal safety.
Over the summer, Card was deployed to a military training center in upstate New York to support training for West Point cadets. A defense official telling ABC News that back in July, he was behaving erratically and out of concern for his safety was taken to a mental health facility for evaluation. He spent 2 weeks there and allegedly threatened to shoot up a National Guard facility in Maine.
One source telling me this is the worst case scenario involving a highly skilled gunman who is irrational. Card is a firearms expert and Army reservist with a history of mental illness.
Flags at the White House and across Maine have been lowered to half staff in memory of the victims.
Now, according to the Gun Violence Archive, this is the 565th mass shooting here in the U.S. this year alone, and it is the deadliest since the massacre in Uvalde. Rena Roy, ABC News, Lewiston, Maine.
Now, meanwhile, Maine's former governor, who is now Senator Angus King, voted in support of a Senate amendment that would make it easier for veterans with mental illness to bypass background checks when they buy a gun. Senator King is an independent who often caucuses with Democrats. Now, the measure that he voted on is part of a package of annual spending bills that could pass the Senate next week. 3 Democrats joined Republicans in supporting that amendment. Continuing coverage tonight, the defense team for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students was dealt a blow today after a judge denied their request to have the grand jury indictment thrown out. Bryan Kohberger's defense attorney claimed the grand jury didn't apply the proper standard to bring the murder indictment against their client. They say the grand jury should have gone beyond probable cause in deciding the charges. But the judge says due to a settled Idaho case law, probable cause is enough to indict. The defense team says it's going to fight back on that case law. The judge told them to take it up with the Idaho Supreme Court. The trial for Kohberger has not yet been set. The off-duty pilot who allegedly tried to kill the engines on a plane mid-air has a connection to Eastern Washington. Joseph Emerson, we've learned, is a Cheney High School graduate. This is a photo from Cheney High's 1997 yearbook, the year Emerson graduated. A spokeswoman for Cheney Public Schools confirmed his 97 graduation. Now to the United Auto Workers strike. The UAW has reached a tentative deal with Ford. The agreement sets the stage for 16,000 striking employees to return to work. And the deal reportedly gives union workers at Ford an immediate 11% pay raise, then pay hikes beginning at 25% over the next 4+ years. Union members do still have to ratify the deal. That process could take more than a week. And strikes continue at General Motors and Stellantis plants. Voting is currently underway in Washington's November general election. That's because we are a vote-by-mail state. Now, according to the Benton County Auditor's Facebook page, they've received 7,700 ballots so far. That's only about 6% voter participation. You do have until 8 p.m. on November 7th to get your ballot returned to the auditor's office. If you want to send it through the mail, you might want to get it in a little sooner than November 7th. It's Thursday night lights for 2 local high schools because of a referee shortage. Royal High School is hosting Connell tonight. Both teams are coming into the game 3-0 in the league, so they tell me it should be a good one. Now, it is a bit unusual to have a football game on a Thursday, and this isn't the first time it's happened for Connell, but the athletic director says they've been able to make it work without too much disruption to the students.
It's happened to us again 3 times this year because I think it's just kind of the luck of the draw of that week where we were playing. The games that we have had moved, one was a home game, and the other one, well, Luke is only 45 minutes down the road, 50 minutes down the road, so it wasn't a terribly late night. For us tonight, it actually works out perfect because we don't have school today or tomorrow.
So coming up on Apple Valley News now at 6, we'll hear from Royal High School's assistant principal talking about how he became a game officiant and how you can do the same if you want to. Operation Warm from the Richland Fire and Emergency Services Department is warming back up after a hiatus due to COVID. Operation Warm helps elementary schools in Richland give coats to kids for the upcoming winter season to help families that may not be able to afford one. This year, the program had more than 1,000 coats to give out to several local schools. This morning, Jefferson Elementary was the first school to get a chance to pick.
We go out and we get donations from local businesses here in the city of Richland, and with that money that we get, we go out and we purchase coats for kids that need them. The way we select the children is we go through the schools that use the most government-assisted lunches, and then we start off with them. Jefferson Elementary was number 1 on the list.
Now, our crew says the kids were more than excited to get a new coat for the season, and they were able to pick out their own style or colors. A lot of animal shelters and rescues are at full capacity in the Tri-Cities, and there's one in Kennewick you might not know about. The Benton County Canine Rescue is almost 6 months behind on picking strays up because no one is adopting animals from their shelter at the moment. They're able to offer affordable adoption fees that include spay or neuter, a collar or harness, bed, and even a bag of food.
Our adoption fees are $95. Most animal control facilities will be on the lower scale of adoption fees. Reason being is because since we're budgeted, we can afford to lower those prices.
So the Benton County Canine Shelter is located at 1116 Grant Place off of Canal Drive in Kennewick. Now remember, if you are interested in adopting or fostering an animal, you can always call local shelters. Apple Valley News Now and Windermere Group have partnered with the Benton Franklin Humane Society to showcase all of the animals in their care. The Humane Society is hosting their biannual Operation Best Friend adoption event this Friday from 11 to 4 p.m. at their shelter. You'll be able to meet the team, tour the shelter facilities, and hopefully meet your new best friend. In sports news tonight, Washington State and Oregon State have evidence that could help their case in the lawsuit against the Pac-12. WSU and OSU are claiming that Pac-12 commissioners' response to the schools announcing their intention to leave suggests that the departing members gave up their rights to make decisions on the conference's future. Now, in a court filing submitted to Whitman County today, Washington State and Oregon State made the case that they should be the only ones who can decide what happens to the Pac-12 and its assets. WSU and OSU are the only conference members that have not announced their intentions to join another league next year. A hearing is scheduled for November 14th in Whitman County. At least 27 people are dead. Several more are missing after a deadly Category 5 hurricane slammed Mexico. Hurricane Otis making landfall in Acapulco yesterday, making it the strongest hurricane on record to hit Mexico's Pacific coast. ABC's Melissa Adon has the details.
Mass devastation revealed in Acapulco, one of Mexico's oldest beach resort cities, after Hurricane Otis made landfall as a ferocious Category 5 storm.
Otis went from a tropical storm to a Cat 5 in just 12 hours, which is something that only a handful of storms have done around the world since records began in the 1960s.
Torrential downpours destroying a hotel, walls and ceilings collapsing, guests forced to shelter in the hotel's ballroom. Jaime Villanueva and his friend sheltering on the 21st floor of their hotel, hoping for the best. New aerial video shows flooded communities, mudslides and fallen trees barring access to roads, while the region deals with down power lines and no communication.
Fue muy desastroso.
Mexico's president saying what Acapulco suffered was disastrous. Forecasters say Hurricane Otis is the strongest hurricane on record to hit Mexico's Pacific coast.
That was ABC's Melissa Adon reporting. Mexico's government is urgently working to reestablish communication in that area. They're bringing in more than 900 workers and members of the military to assess the damage. Here in our area, we're talking about cold temperatures, and the Halloween fun begins tomorrow in the Tri-Cities. We're talking about where you can enjoy some festivities and a Friday night movie. And as I mentioned, get ready for those bone-chilling conditions overnight. Stacey Lee is tracking how low the mercury will go in her first alert forecast. Plus, learn why Boeing is suffering big losses over a contract to create new versions of Air Force One. You're watching Apple Valley News Now.
If something's missing in your morning without a McDonald's breakfast, then try a new bagel sandwich. With fluffy egg, melty cheese, and your choice of a steak patty with grilled onion or bacon or sausage, well, those will fill the void deliciously. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hi, Mo. I need your help. My humans were run off the road by a car that drove off. What should we do? The law says you have 72 hours to report it to law enforcement to make a claim on their insurance, so have them go do a police report? Thanks, Mo. You're the best, hun. I'll give Brumback and Autumn a call. That way, I can come see you.
Brumback and Autumn. Bulldog time.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups, or get $3,500 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a Turbo Max engine. See your community Chevy dealers.
Thank you for getting groceries, Mika.
Of course. Happy to help. Will Medicare cover any of these bills?
I thought it would, but it doesn't.
We'll get through this. I will always be here for you.
I know. But what about you? I don't ever want you to be in this situation.
Don't worry, Dad. With WA Cares, I'm earning long-term care benefits with each paycheck. That money will be there when I need it.
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
To see if you qualify for Hanford worker compensation, please call Smart Law for a free consultation at 1-877-630-1122. Workers and the families of deceased workers who worked at the Hanford site are now eligible for compensation for diseases and illnesses, including neurological, respiratory and heart conditions, cancers, and beryllium-related disorders. This may be in addition to compensation already being received. Call Smart Law at 1-877-630-1122 for Hanford worker compensation. Smart Law in Yakima and Tri-Cities.
I think they like each other.
I'm Charles. Lunch?
Vanessa, I like lunch.
Give in to deliciousness. Buy one craveable classic and get another one for $1. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's the greatest harvest on earth. Fly the Northwest, Tuesday.
Welcome back. Boeing says it lost an additional $482 million on the contract to retrofit the next generation of Air Force One planes. The reason? Engineering changes, labor instability, and supply negotiations. In total, the deal loss totals more than $1 billion. The company's CEO said last year Boeing should never have signed the nearly $4 billion contract with the Air Force. Supplier costs have soared since they did so. New numbers show the U.S. economy grew at a rate of 4.9% in the third quarter. That's more than the 2.1% increase the second quarter and above economists' expectations. The increase comes despite interest rates hitting their highest level in more than 2 decades. Robust consumer spending fueled growth in the third quarter, and the economy faces a number of headwinds, including soaring bond yields and the resumption of student loan repayments. Pursuit of the American dream remains expensive in the U.S. According to Freddie Mac data, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate averaged 7.79% this week. That's up from 7.63% last week. Now, a year ago, it was just over 7%. Rates have increased 2 full percentage points this year. Now, according to Freddie Mac's chief economist, purchases have slowed to a virtual standstill, with affordability remaining a hurdle amid high rates and low inventory. Halloween fun begins tomorrow at WSU Tri-Cities. The Tri-Cities Halloween Fest and Movie Night is billed as a family-friendly event offering trick-or-treats and activities from 6 until 8. Then at 8, it's a screening of Scooby-Doo the movie. That's outside of the Collaboration Hall at the WSU Tri-Cities campus in Richland.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
And let's take a look at our Sky Tracker radar. We're tracking some snow this evening here in the Blue Mountains. So think Ski, Bluewood, all the way down to Tollgate and even down into the Oregon Blue. So again, a little bit of snow continues to fall there this evening. Our Dust Devil Giza sky cam tonight, 48 degrees. We see those cloudy skies. Those will start to move out later tonight into tomorrow, but a little overcast and cloudy tonight. Our humidity at 63%. Winds are light tonight at 5 miles an hour, and our sunset at 5:51. So the big temperature trend going on is this Arctic blast. This setup is going to be here for the next several days, with our temperatures running a good 10 to 20 degrees below normal for this time of year. But check it out, if you go into Montana, that area, those temperatures are running anywhere from 35 to 40 degrees below normal, and it keeps getting further to the south. So again, that'll be the dominant setup for us weather-wise. Here's our satellite and radar. Again, we still see a few of those snow showers across the Blues, a little overcast otherwise, and then we'll start to see that move on out. Next 3 days, again, that system has moved on out of the area. We'll have mostly clear skies, but again, as you can see, that jet coming straight down over us, bringing that Arctic air right on down into Washington State. So very, very cold. Let's take a look at our future cast, and again, we are seeing maybe a few flakes overnight. We're going to be watching the Yakima Ellensburg area for fog or freezing fog developing tonight, as well as Walla Walla and the foothills of the Blues. We do see an occasional shower passing through overnight. Let's take a look at Friday morning. Again, most of this should be gone, and then we'll start to see those clearing skies. Again, you can see the barbs coming down from the north. That's that cold air that'll continue to we'll continue to encounter for the next couple of days. So freeze mornings, yes, we're going to see those freezing below freezing temperatures again for the next several days. So things to plan ahead. Again, cover that sensitive sensitive vegetation. Bring your hanging pots if you want them to live inside, and so on. So again, that'll be the trend here for the next several days. Temperatures overnight tonight, again, chilly side. We're in the 30s all around the area. 33 for Pendleton, Walla Walla, Tri-Cities, Yakima, 32 in Prosser. For tomorrow, let's take a look at those again, daytime highs in the 40s. So well below our average. Typically, we're in the mid 50s right around now. So look for that morning frost. Sunny afternoon as skies will clear out. 40s. It'll hit 50 degrees in the Tri-Cities. Foothills of the Blues also seeing 45 degrees for most of the area. Planning your day tomorrow. Again, cold at the bus stop or as you head out the door, so definitely want to grab a coat. You'll see those temperatures move into the 40s by midday and just barely hitting 50 in the Tri-Cities. Here's your short-term forecast. Again, look for frosty conditions. Look at these temperatures even lower as we head towards the weekend. Our coldest nights so far are going to be Friday and Saturday night, but sunshine is going to persist through the weekend, so not a bad looking, not that part is good a bit, right? So sunshine there, frosty conditions, temperatures down in the 20s, and in Walla Walla again Friday, we're calling an alert day here for freezing fog possible and a slight chance of some showers, which could be rain mixed with snow there in Walla Walla tomorrow morning. But once the system moves out of the area, things are looking good, albeit frosty for the weekend. Lots to get to. Your 7-day planning forecast is on the way. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacey. And it is Thursday, which means a golden night of television right here on Apple Valley News Now. At 8, it's The Golden Bachelor, and we want you to join us for the fun. We're holding one of our weekly Golden Bachelor viewing parties tonight at Twigs Martini Bar and Bistro in Kennewick.
Portions of Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Even good drivers get hurt in accidents. If you've been injured in an accident, find out what your rights are. Call Allen Brecky Law Offices at 735-0546. Cases handled on a percentage basis. No charge for initial consultation. Call now. They're waiting to help you.
Watch me. Watch my first step turn to leaps and bounds. Watch me play carefree while the world goes round. Listen to me join in with every girl and boy. Screams of happiness, limitless joy. Watch me run through the grass and sand. They said I would, now I can. Watch me. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
I met Anidas 10 years ago when he first came to Numerica. He didn't have bad credit, but he just had no credit to begin with. I took the time to really go over some options with him and figure out what steps he needed to take in order for him to build that positive credit to the point where, fast forward 10 years down the road, he's got his business account with Numerica, he's got his personal accounts with Numerica, and he's looking to buy his second home also with Numerica. That was a sense of fulfillment for me in saying, hey, I helped him get through these steps.
Hi, I need new tires. Perfect timing. Right now, during our tire savings event, when you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th for only $1. Wow, that's a great deal. Right? Can you imagine finding a tire for less?
Sorry, honey. Mama needs a tire.
No, definitely not. No. Let's get you those tires.
Okay.
Right now, during our tire savings event, buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
Tonight, with the search for a House Speaker finally over, what's next for the GOP? Plus, the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza, where the release talks stand. More Americans turn to the most watched newscast on television. World News Tonight with David Muir.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
In your health news, take steps now to prevent a stroke. Every 40 seconds in the United States, someone suffers a stroke, and every 3 minutes and 14 seconds, someone dies from one. Now, you can protect yourself by limiting salt intake and alcohol to no more than 1 drink per day. That's not a glass, that's a serving. Don't smoke and control your diabetes and high cholesterol through diet and medication. If you have sleep apnea, you'll want to get that treated as well. All of these to avoid your stroke risk. Also be aware of atrial fibrillation, which can cause an irregular heartbeat.
They have to be on a strong blood thinner known as anticoagulation.
Also raise your heart rate through exercise 4 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. Now here's a preview of what's ahead coming up in about 5 minutes on World News Tonight with David Muir.
Tonight, the deadly mass shooting in Maine at a bar and a bowling alley. David Muir reports from Lewiston, Maine, as the hunt for the alleged killer and the investigation unfold. More Americans turn to the most watched newscast on television. World News Tonight with David Muir.
Portions of Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Here, freshly made grizzly bear tracks. Survival, it's not guaranteed. Good thing I got my Ford Bronco Sport, because it goes over any terrain.
Get a great deal on a Bronco Sport, only at your local Ford dealer.
I was 44, working part-time. It was my first mammogram, and they found a few cancerous places in my left breast. I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't feel sick. I didn't have a lump in my breast. There was nothing. I wasn't afraid I was going to die. My first fear was, how am I going to tell my daughter? As a result of early detection, I didn't have to do chemotherapy. I just did surgery and radiation. Was able to maintain a good quality of life, and now it's a distant memory.
No insurance? No problem. At West Richland Family Dental and Prime Dental Pasco, our membership plan starts at just $79 and costs only $35 a month. That's 2 cleanings, x-rays, and much more for just $35 a month. Learn more at WRFDC.com or PDPNW.com. Find us at one of our 2 locations, West Richland Family Dental and Prime Dental Pasco. Stunning smiles for the whole family.
Get 2.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,500 purchase allowance on the 2024 XT5 and XT6 when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at GoKubota.com.
Here, freshly made grizzly bear tracks. Survival, it's not guaranteed. Good thing I got my Ford Bronco Sport, because it goes over any terrain.
Get a great deal on a Bronco Sport, only at your local Ford dealer.
Welcome back. All right, take a look at this. The video is getting better and better, Stacey. Cold weather is not keeping wildlife away from I-90 overcrossing in the Cascades. This camera recorded a herd of elk just having a ball out there in the snow as they romped after Wednesday night's mountain snowfall. You can see a couple of elk there with really impressive antlers as they are running back and forth through the meadow. I gotta say, Stacey, the snow is so much more fun when you have a fur coat.
That's right. I'm so happy they put that bridge over I-90 as well, right?
I think it makes it safer for everybody.
Exactly. Plus, we get to see cool videos like that.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about your 7-day planning forecast. It is chilly. Look at those cold temperatures. Again, very frosty. Those coldest nights of the week so far will be coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Slightly warmer into Halloween, but not much. And our next system coming through Wednesday or Thursday there in the Yakima area. Again, frosty conditions here in the Tri-Cities as well, with Halloween 47 degrees during the day, but it cools down. So I'm thinking really warm costumes for the kiddos, and of course flashlights and all the safety gear. But again, very cold temperatures for the next several days. An alert day for Walla Walla. We could see some fog, freezing fog, or maybe a little rain mix there overnight, early morning hours. Once we start to clear up, though, in the afternoon, we'll see lots of sunshine with those cold temperatures continuing right on through our Wednesday. And not that 33 is a warm-up, but it might feel like it.
It might feel like I'm just going to be dreaming of the days a couple of weeks ago when we were at 75.
There you go.
Thanks, Stacey. Thank you so much for watching. World News Tonight with David Muir is next. We're back tonight at 6. And of course, you can find the latest anytime on our website, AppleValleyNewsNow.com.